Greetings, you feral animists. I hope you're doing well. My name is Graham, and welcome to the Crack-A-Pack here on LRRMTG. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. That's my introduction. Today, we are looking at a pack of Dragon's Maze, which was the third set of the second time that we went to Ravnica, the first time we returned to Ravnica, and it wasn't like received great at the time. It was kind of in the technical terminology, because Return to Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance. Nope, I'm conflating my Ravnicas. Return to Ravnica and Gatecrash were both sweet sets that drafted well and just played well and were awesome. And then Dragon's Maze came along and was like, okay, now you draft Dragon's Maze and Gatecrash and Ravnica Allegiance, and the whole thing just sort of wasn't an amazing experience. I admire what they were attempting, but sometimes you don't stick the landing. You know, it was a small set. This is back when they did small sets. It was a small, precious little set with 10 common slots dedicated to clue stones. I hope we only see one in this pack, which was given to us by Justin Lake from Syracuse, New York. Thanks for labeling your own pack there, Justin. Appreciate that. Let's go. I do like Selesnya, and first we have an Armored Wolf Rider, which is different from an Armored Wolf Rider. The hyphenation is important. It also is fun if you pronounce it hyphenation, like I just did. It's a 4/6 for 5 mana. That's why I'm wasting time talking about my pronunciation. It's fine. This card's, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, good. Is it Cluestone? It sure is. It's 3 mana for an artifact. You tap to add blue or red, and you can pay a blue and a red and tap and sacrifice it to draw a card. On the face of it, that is not bad, right? Like in this set where you're trying to do different stuff and fix your mana and things like that, it's fine. That's totally fine. It's just that there were so many of them, and it's only fine. It's not like amazing. The lockets from the third Ravnica set, the second time we returned, I think landed a lot better. Rubble Belt Maca. Yes, it's a cat with spider eyes. Not spider eyes, it's got 6 eyes and they're sort of arranged in a, it's unsettling, not a fan. Anyway, 3 and a red for a 3/3 cat, which isn't like, it's fine. But more importantly, it had Blood Rush, which was a really interesting mechanic. So for the Blood Rush cost, in this case, a red, and discard this, target attacking creature gets ++ the power and toughness of the creature with Blood Rush. And sometimes also would get an ability of that creature. So in this case, single red mana for +3/+3. So it's a giant growth that only works on attacking creatures. But still, this could be scary. I dig it. Hired Torturer, because, you know, when someone's made it a career. 2 and a black for a 2/3 human rogue with Defender. Not a fan of going out and starting things on their own, this Hired Torturer. For 3 and black and tap, target opponent loses 2 life, then reveals a card at random from his or her hand. So you get information. You hurt them and then you get information. And you don't get to do anything with that information, but you know it. Like, you don't make them discard, but you know, you have that information. I don't know, this card's fine, I guess. Drown in Filth. Good metal band name, Drown in Filth. Black-green for a sorcery. Choose target creature, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, then that creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each land in your graveyard. Yeah. Graveyard shenanigans, kill a thing. Drown in Filth, love it. You love to drown it. Mending Touch. Single green mana, instant regenerate target creature. Sometimes you have to play cards. Sometimes you have to play cards. Dun, dun, dun. I'm so sorry. Opal Lake Gatekeepers. The Gatekeepers were an interesting cycle. Normally, gatekeeping, we don't go in for that kind of shenanigans around here. But these Gatekeepers, the cycle anyway, was interesting because Gates was the new land type. It was all about the guild gates, right? And the gatekeepers, when they entered the battlefield, if you controlled 2 or more gates, they did a thing. So in this case, there are 2-4 for 3 and a blue, which is, you know, it's like a blue Pillarfield Ox. Not astounding. But if you control 2 gates, you draw a card. Yeah, right? Play that, for sure. Pilfered Plans. Spoken like a evil necromancer. Because it's 1 blue-black for a sad-looking Demir man. An Orzhov? Man, it's someone, they're getting counterspell. It's not even counterspell. I should read the cards before I start making jokes about it. Target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard, and then you draw 2 cards. I like, it's divination, but you also get to randomly mill them for 2. There was a mill deck. This is sweet. It's divination. This is good. You'll play that. Wow, I do not remember this card. Sinister Possession. What is... I mean, I can tell what's happening in the art. He's being sinisterly possessed, but that's... This is very color out of space. Not a big fan of this. Single black mana for a creature enchantment. Whenever enchanted creature attacks or blocks, its controller loses 2 life. Sure. Crawl Warrior. 1 and a green for a 2/2 insect warrior. And for 5 and a green, it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. You know what was low-key super annoying to play around? This. Crawl Warrior is just like, it's a bear and with a really expensive pump ability. Sure, I guess. No, Crawl Warrior was like irritating. Also, on more than one occasion, I saw my opponent get up to 12 mana and double pump a Crawl Warrior, and it killed me. Don't like it. Our next card is Toil and Trouble. I love these. Toil and Trouble, it's a double split. No, not a split card. Yes, a split card. They're the fuse. These are the fuse cards. This was a different take on the split cards because they have another word on it, and that word is fuse. So Toil is 2 and a black sorcery. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So like Sign in Blood. We've seen that before. Trouble is 2 and a red. Trouble deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. And then for Fuse, you can cast 1 or both halves of this card from your hand. So if you really had to, you could pay 6 mana, right, 4 red black, make your opponent draw 2 cards and then lose 2 life, and then dome them for how many cards were now in their hand. You could kill someone with this, but generally you just Sign in Blood yourself. But it's neat. I like flexibility. Coming for your sins. Almost got the whole set. It's the Sin Collector. 1 white black for a 2/1 human cleric. When Sin Collector enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose an instant or sorcery card from it and exile that card. This Sin Collector was a great way to see how you're about to lose the game, right? You sort of look at their hand and you're like, oh, well, I get that card. It's a shame about the other 5 that are about to bash my face in, but hey, no, Sin Collector was great. Next we have, again, Profit and Loss. Profit is 1 and a white for instant. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. And Loss is 2 and a black instant. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. Loss hits all opponents, which is like kind of cool, maybe, perhaps relevant. I don't know if anyone's running this in Commander, but it's the sort of thing I would. Notable bad deck builder me. But so yeah, you could also cast Profit and Loss, 5 mana, make all your stuff larger and all of their stuff smaller, and that's got to be pretty backbreaking. One would hope, if things are working the way that they ought to. We have a Night token and an Orzhov Guild Gate. So there was a gate in every pack. This is the first time that this is Graham gonna say stuff that he recalls being correct and it gets called out for being wrong, but I'm fairly confident about this because it was a big deal at the time where the land slot in Dragon's Maze was gates. There was a gate in every pack, and that was a new thing that they tried, and it worked out really well because then everyone had all the gates that they needed for all those Gates Matters cards that were kind of disappointing, and that's part of why the whole set was like, eh. But anyway, our rare is Pontiff of Blight. I love this card. 4 black for a 2/7 zombie cleric with extort. And other creatures you control have extort. I love extort. That's a fun way. Graham thinks that's a fun way to win a game of Magic the Gathering. Basically, anytime you cast a spell, if you have a creature with extort, anytime you cast a spell, that creature goes, yo, do you want to pay like a tax on that? And you pay an additional white or black, and you drain your opponent for 1. So this has extort itself and gives all your creatures extort. So if you've got 3 other creatures out and the Pontiff, then you cast a spell and you get 4 triggers being like, you want to pay the tithe? And you pay 4 extra mana and you're draining for 4. So they're losing 4, you're gaining 4 life, and you're getting to cast the spell. I didn't get to do that very often, but it was fun when it happened, said Graham, who thinks this kind of thing is fun. So, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise that Pontiff is definitely the card that I'm going to take out of this pack if I'm drafting this and just try to go Orzhov, which I have to pick up in Gate Crash and then fill out in the pack of Return to Ravnica. For anyone who remembers this draft format, it was a time to navigate. Let me tell you. Hey, that's going to do it for this episode of Crack a Pack. This show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. If you'd like to send us a pack, you're under no obligation to do so. But if you would, ship it to our P.O. Box, care of Crack a Pack. Why not? Thanks, everybody, for watching. Shoutouts to Corey for the edit, and I will talk to you next time.